Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for today's video. It's going to be a different style of video for my channel, but I'm super excited about it. Today I'm going to be giving you my first impressions, review, and wear test of the new Makeup Forever HD Skin Undetectable Stay True Foundation. I was personally so excited when I saw this was releasing, just because it kind of brought me back to like OG YouTube, when like the first Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation was like the only foundation people wore. I swear it was one of the first foundations I started wearing when I first got into makeup. So I was super excited to see this release, and I thought it would be fun to just do a wear test and give you my first impressions on this guy today. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts, watch me do a wear test, apply it to my face, all the things. It's obviously what I have currently on my face right now. Stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like project painting content or just chit-chatting about makeup, I would love if you'd consider subscribing before moving on. And other than that, let's jump into my first impressions. All right, you guys, I have the new Makeup Forever HD Skin Undetectable Stay True Foundation to test for you guys today. I decided to pick mine up in the shade 2N22. And then in parentheses, it says Y325. This is, I decided to go with one that I felt like would match me more when I have a self-tan. My face obviously does not match my neck right now. So this is what my shade looks like. This looks like it might be a little bit dark, but that's okay. It's winter time now. I can always self-tan more, and summer is upon us. I do love the new packaging. Their old HD foundation, which it's been a minute since I've used that foundation, had the black cap, but now it has a cap to match like the shade of your actual foundation. It is a glass bottle, which I love, and then it just does have your standard like actual pump right here. So before we start testing this out on my face, I do just quickly want to read the claims to you guys. So it says this is an undetectable liquid foundation that blurs and covers imperfections for up to 24 hours, powered by a micro skin system that syncs with the skin for true to skin finish, medium coverage, natural finish, liquid formula. It says that the new and improved version of the Ultra HD foundation is powered by technology that enhances performance and undetectability for skin that looks like skin under any light. Comfortable and easy to apply, this medium to full coverage foundation flexes with skin for no caking or settling into lines. HD Skin is vegan, non-comedogenic, waterproof, sweatproof, and comes in more suitable packaging. One quick note on the sustainable packaging, it does say that the caps are biosourced and the glass bottle is made out of 40% recycled glass. That being said, it does say that this formula is good for oily combo to normal skin, or best for those skin types. I personally have like normal to dry, more leaning dry skin, so I'm a little bit nervous to test this out. Like I said, it has been a while since I have tried or used the original Ultra HD foundation, and I honestly like cannot even really remember how that formula went for me. So I am someone who typically likes to prime her face, so I am going to go in with the Ultra Repair Hyaluronic Hydrating Primer from First Aid Beauty. This is a primer that I don't feel like is going to hinder any sort of performance of the foundation, whereas some like pore filling primers, you know, may hinder just, you know, what I think first impression wise of this foundation. So I am just going to put that primer all over. Obviously I have no other face makeup on, with the exception of I did do my eyes already, not my eyebrows, because that would be difficult. I just don't understand how people do their brows and then do their foundation. Okay, so like I said, it does come with the standard pump, and I will post a picture of my shade right over here compared to the Kosas new foundation, as well as compared to the new Kosas foundation, as well as the NARS, as well as the new NARS foundation. I recently picked up those foundations as well, so I will give you a comparison to some other shades. This is what one pump looks like, and this is pretty thick. You know, you get some formulas that will like run down your hand. This is a pretty thick formula, which makes me a little bit nervous. I do think that the shade is going to be too deep for me, especially based on I've already swatched this for that picture, and I noticed that the shade's probably gonna be too dark for me, but that's okay, we'll work with it anyway. I'm gonna do one side of my face with a beauty sponge, as well as one side of my face with a makeup brush. So I'm gonna start with the makeup brush side of my face, and I think I'll do the right side with a makeup brush. And I'm literally just sitting on a chair, so I'm gonna have to hold up a mirror while I do this, but I'm just going to using the Merit foundation. I think this is like brush number 1. Maybe I'll scoot a little closer. And then I am just going to use a brush for this side of my face. So that is 1 pump, and it covered like the good majority of this part of my face, but I don't, well, maybe I would have enough to then get, oh yeah, maybe I would have enough from 1 pump to get this okay, so I would say 1 pump covers about 1/2 of my face. So that is what this is looking like, and I have no sunlight right now, so this is a ring light in front of me. Let me get a little bit closer. And I do obviously have some acne scarring and blemishes right there. I will say this does, I will say I don't mind how this went on with a brush. I would say it's more like light coverage right now. Like if you wanted more medium to full, like you can definitely still see my blemishes through this. And it is not the perfect shade match for me, but I do feel like it is kind of like undetectable on the skin. I will be curious to see how well or not well this foundation builds. Okay, so I put another pump on the back of my hand, picking that up with a beauty sponge for the other side of my face. Okay, so that is the other side of my face with the beauty sponge. I will say I think 1 pump covers 1/2 of the face, so this is 2 pumps for my whole face. I do think that the brush side did get just maybe a hair more coverage than the beauty sponge side, but I will say this first layer of coverage does seem more light coverage in my opinion, rather than like medium to full. Like definitely I would probably want to like spot conceal some of this. I don't think it's bad. Like I feel like for my preference, I usually like a more light to medium natural finish foundation. So I actually like really like where it's at right now, especially like for a lighter coverage for the summer. But I am really curious about how this is going to build. So I'm gonna really quickly show you. Here is the beauty sponge side versus the brush side. I feel like you really can't tell too much of a difference. I do kind of want to just see how much I can build this up, and I am just going to use a sponge on both sides of my face just because that's typically how I would apply my makeup. So I did just apply 1 more pump onto the back of my hand, and where I want most of my coverage is going to be obviously my cheeks and my chin. I don't necessarily care to add more coverage to my forehead because then I get like creasing in my forehead lines, which nobody wants. The shade is definitely a little bit too deep for where I'm at right now, but I will say adding that little extra coverage, I do think this brings it up to a nice medium coverage, not too full. I don't personally feel, I'm gonna try and again do, I always forget I gotta do the close-up on the actual camera. I don't feel like that looks like too heavy or too makeup-y. I will say this definitely appears to be more of like a matte formula, maybe like natural leaning matte. I feel like maybe it like maybe ages me just like a hair, and I will be curious throughout the day to see like how it settles into like fine lines and wrinkles, but I don't hate this so far. Like sometimes, especially like I feel like I could see myself really liking this in the summer when you don't want something that's like too dewy that you're gonna sweat off. I do actually feel like this looks really nice and natural, and so far I'm like not mad and actually like pretty impressed with this. I will say like my chin usually has quite a bit of redness on it, and I feel like even like some of that redness still might be peeking through even just like a little bit. So in terms of like a full coverage foundation, I don't necessarily know you're gonna get full coverage from this, but I actually think that this looks really nice. So I'm gonna go finish the rest of my makeup, pop on some cream and liquid, bronzer, blush, highlight, etc., do my brows, and then I will be right back. All right guys, I am back. I have a little bit of cream, bronzer, blush, and highlight on my face, did my brows, touched up my eyes a little bit, and this is where we are at. I have to say, I actually really like this. I do feel like this looks a little bit dry, specifically like in my, like just around like my chin and mouth. I do definitely feel like this is more of like a natural matte sort of foundation. Maybe like, yeah, natural matte is what I would say. Where typically I like just more of like a natural foundation. Like anything with matte, usually I like to stay away from. But I feel like I would really enjoy this, especially, we're gonna see how well this wears, but I feel like in the summertime as something that like maybe would like still look natural but last a little bit longer than some of my other foundations. I feel like it also, you really can like tailor the coverage to kind of be whatever you want it to be, whether or not you want it to be light, medium. I didn't obviously build it up to a full coverage, but I think it looks really beautiful. I did use the Charlotte Tilbury Air Hollywood Flawless Filter, and I feel like it's giving me a bit of, or I feel like it's giving me a good glow. This is not something I have powdered, and I don't necessarily feel like I would put a powder on this personally. I feel like then I would look super, super dry. And I feel like even using like powder complexion products, maybe I wouldn't use with this foundation. But in terms of like being undetectable on the skin, I do feel like even up close, like it makes my pores look a little bit smoother and just like a little bit more flawless in my opinion. And I don't feel like it looks too makeup-y. I don't feel like it's settling into like my forehead wrinkles more than some other foundations. And I actually feel like this looks really nice. So the time is currently 11:22 in the morning. I have some editing to do, some reading, maybe some errands to run, a drive up from Target to pick up, and I will be back in like 6, 7, 8 hours to check in with you guys, see how the makeup is wearing, and give you my final first impression thoughts on the new Ultra HD Undetectable foundation. All right, you guys, welcome back. It is currently 7:53 p.m., meaning that this foundation has been on for just over 8 hours. I have changed my lip color. I also kind of like changed my eyeshadow look. I really just went over my previous look with a couple different shadows. I did some filming today. I read a book, ran some errands, like did a drive up, but didn't go inside anywhere, so I didn't have a face mask on at all today to kind of give you like my perspective from there. Before we get into my final thoughts and first impression on the Makeup Forever foundation, I do just want to post a picture on the screen here with flash versus no flash. I do feel like there is a bit of a white cast with flash with this particular foundation. That's never something I personally really think about, but I do just want to include that information in here for, you know, your knowledge in case that's something that you are concerned about. So overall, my final thoughts, first impression of this foundation are I really do like it. I do find that I feel like it makes my skin, like my dry skin, look a little bit dry. So I did end up going over it with the CoverGirl Glow, like priming glow spray, just to add a little bit of glow to my face, which is not something that like bothers me. I'm happy to do that. I would be very curious to see how I would like this foundation mixed with like a glowy primer and things like that. I'll obviously continue to keep testing this out and will give more thoughts on this in an upcoming video. I have 3 new foundations, the NARS, the Kosas, and this one. I thought it would be fun to do like a beauty battle, kind of like Samantha March does, where I kind of just like review all 3 and choose like maybe like rank my top 3 favorites, something like that. So keep an eye out for that video where I'll give more thoughts as I wear this more. Obviously, keep in mind this is the first impression, it's the first time I'm wearing it, but I feel like it did last and it did hold up pretty well throughout the day. So I'll kind of give a close-up here. There's nowhere where I feel like it's really like wearing away. As I was editing like the first part of this video, I do feel like it is a little lighter coverage than I maybe thought originally, but I do feel like because it is, so it squirts out and it feels really thick, but when it's buffed out onto the skin, I feel like it's really lightweight. Like I feel like it does not feel like makeup on my skin, doesn't feel heavy at all. I really do kind of agree with the like undetectable claim. It also does completely set down, like it does not feel tacky on my face at all when I like press on it, and I obviously did not set with a powder. This is not necessarily a foundation I feel like I would powder, just because it does lean a little bit drier for me. I feel like if you had normal slash like combo skin, I feel like you would really enjoy this foundation. If you have really dry skin, I feel like this is going to cling to dry patches. Like I feel like on my driest days, I would not enjoy this foundation, but overall, I think this is gonna be a really good one for the summer. I do typically tend to have more normal skin in the summer rather than so dry, and I feel like I'll really enjoy this because I do feel like it has a good lasting power. It feels really light on the skin, but it offers a good like natural finish to the skin and just gives, I don't know, I just think it's like a beautiful, like healthy sort of foundation, kind of like right up my alley, right, my vibe is what I'm trying to go with. And overall, I'm really happy with this one. I feel like this could become a new staple for 2022. If you guys have tried this, let me know if you plan on picking it up, skipping it. Give me your thoughts down in the comments below. Other than that, thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch today's video. If there's other first impressions videos you would like to see on my channel, maybe this can be like a new thing on my channel where we do more first impressions. I would love your feedback in the comments below. Other than that, that is gonna wrap it up for today's video. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch and for supporting my channel as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.